At the end of every day, we say there's night. At the end of every night, there's day. The death of one thing is the beginning, the creation of something else. And the creation of something sometimes inevitably the death of another. So the cycles of day and night are the cycles of death and life. We reflect upon such cycles, we draw in comparison, often in big extremes like day, night, life, death. But even inside of these cycles, many infinite cycles exist. Some of them so small they seem linear. Hours, seconds, even beyond time, thoughts, feelings. Hate is seen to be a polar opposite of like love or compassion. However, maybe like day leads into night, and night is the completion of day, day the completion of night. Similarly, the things that we may polarize against ourselves, like death, like hatred, like fear, are not abstractions of the overall goal of completion, but necessary parts in the realization of a whole self. And I think that what this can look like is the things that I'm feeling that seem ridiculous and seem as if there's some kind of triggering thing or there's some kind of quote-unquote negative thing are the necessary stripping away of an illusion. From feeling love and enlightenment in a moment, maybe I'm less incentivized to realize it's an illusion. If I feel anger or like frustration or like wrathful in a moment, then I'm drawn quickly to see myself as, in some kind of negative pattern, quote unquote. But what if something wrong happened? That my choice was to address it in such a way to enforce that I did not like this, I do not approve of this, I'm setting the boundary. This is not what I appreciate. If a child is angry when something happens to them that hurts them, do we say the child is silly or that the child is wrong? No. They're doing what they're supposed to do because something hurt them, and now they're saying, this hurt me, I don't want this to happen again. So why do I judge myself when I get upset or when I feel the emotions emerge of anger and feel like I'm angry because I feel those emotions? The necessary separation of night and day is a good example of why neither are evil, neither are bad, both are completely good. And actually it's really always night if it wasn't for the sun and for the cycles we're in. We have a unique opportunity in this time to separate ourselves from the things we think we need to be. Accepting what we feel we shouldn't be oftentimes could lead us to this, I'm seeing. Okay? We have a choice to feel the greatest, most powerful, most immense emotion in any moment. What if it takes shape as something we don't want to feel, though? Directing that emotion back to what we want to feel is essential. However, it doesn't always work in the way we expect. And being able to recognize all emotions as useful, as necessary, and as leading to the highest choice of our own emotion is a key. Keys unlock doors, right? A key is fulfilled because it can unlock the door, not just because of that, but its value is in how well, how often, how consistently. The type of doors it unlocks. Is it a master key? Does it unlock more than one door? And the keys of life are the antidotes to what we feel. So some feelings will be very presently pleasant to us. Some feelings might not be. And it's important to look at the feelings that might not, seem great as highlighting what we need to address to choose and have a higher level of choice. Some things feel great, that's awesome. Some things feel less great, they empower us to have more choice. Because without that separation between night and day, we wouldn't understand the hours. So what is it that brings the horizon into view? It's not just the good feelings, even though we are able to always choose, quote unquote, what's good. What about the feelings that we address as evil? Maybe us addressing those feelings as evil is the only thing that's evil about them. There's things that have happened within our body that we're still accepting. And my understanding is that we should be more graceful with ourselves as to how this takes shape. Not irresponsibly, but it's never really irresponsible to feel. It's only irresponsible to negate feeling an assumption of some kind of good that will come from that. And every day, if you're feeling overwhelmed, does that mean you're crazy or something's wrong? Maybe it just means you're overwhelmed. And okay, it's not an easy realization, right? I'm overwhelmed as hell, you know? But that's not always, it doesn't have to stay there. And feeling it so immensely, maybe it's a reminder that you don't have to keep doing this. And you don't have to keep feeling this way. There's no savior, necessarily, to that emotion, other than you choosing to accept it. And sometimes accepting it means choosing the better emotion, quote-unquote better emotion, by really addressing that I don't have to feel this. Sometimes we are reminded by that feeling that we maybe need to feel it. Maybe you're feeling horrible, feeling a lot of weight, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can't demonize ourselves for feeling so much if something's hard, something's challenging, if something is taking time. Sometimes the amount of energy we're putting forth, some things are just heavy, no matter how strong I get. If someone dropped an elephant ton of bricks on me, an elephant on me, or a rhinoceros on me, I don't care how strong I am, how capable I am, how much endurance test I faced. If I'm sitting there trying to push an elephant off my chest for 2 hours, I am going to be weakened by it. It doesn't mean that I'm weak just because I feel weakness or I'm weakened. It doesn't mean that you're less, or you're less pure, you're less great, or that you're less, soulful because you're feeling vulnerable or feeling weak. If you got a lot on your plate, okay, it's not Golden Corral. You don't have to go get more. You don't have to eat it. You got to look at that plate and address, okay, what am I feeling? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? I feel like sometimes this stuff is just a lot. And it's not always the responsibility to fix it immediately. Much love. Peace to God. Peace to darkness and to light.